Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. Antara reports that Indonesia, through its quarantine agency Berantan, and Canada are collaborating to strengthen food safety systems across ASEAN. This significant initiative, part of the first phase of the CanSafe project, involves a food safety laboratory management workshop aimed at enhancing laboratory capacity and fostering cross-border collaboration. The primary goal is to effectively tackle global food safety challenges, including food contamination and the growing threat of antimicrobial resistance. Si-Hyuk Panggabean, head of Indonesia's quarantine agency, highlighted that food safety is a strategic issue for ASEAN, impacting both intra-regional trade and external food supply. Stronger laboratory systems dependent on improved management, adherence to international standards, and skilled analysts are crucial. Canada's agricultural councillor, Jasmine Labelle, affirmed Canada's pride in partnering with ASEAN to bolster these systems. The program is aligned with the ASEAN-Canada Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CPA, on sanitary and phytosanitary measures, ultimately supporting trade flows while safeguarding human, animal, and plant health. The Canadian press reports that South Korean police are seeking to arrest music mogul Bang Si-Hyuk, chairman of HYBE, the agency behind K-pop supergroup BTS. He is under investigation for allegedly illegally gaining over $100 million in an investor fraud scheme. The allegations state that in 2019, Bang misled investors by telling them HYBE had no plans to go public, inducing them to sell their shares to a private equity fund. Police believe the fund may have then paid Bang approximately $200,104,036 million in a side deal, promising him 30% of post-IPO stock sale profits. This legal development poses a significant public relations challenge for HYBE, particularly as BTS embarks on a global tour after a nearly 4-year hiatus due to mandatory military service. A federal jury in North Carolina has found rideshare giant Uber liable for the actions of one of its drivers who inappropriately touched a passenger. The driver grabbed the passenger's inner thigh and asked if he could keep her with him as she was exiting his car. The jury awarded the plaintiff $5,000 in damages in what is described as a bellwether case, a test trial for a larger group of sexual assault lawsuits filed against Uber across the country. This verdict follows a federal jury in Arizona ordering Uber to pay $8.5 million in February for a driver's rape, while a California jury previously found Uber not liable in a similar case last year. Uber plans to appeal, arguing the jury was incorrectly instructed on liability and noted the relatively small award. The company maintains the driver denied the incident and that it was only reported 3 years later when the lawsuit was filed. However, the presiding judge ruled Uber a common carrier under North Carolina law, making it liable for its driver's misconduct. 2 more test cases against Uber are scheduled. This news comes from the Canadian press. Yonhap News Agency reports that South Korea's customs agency has signed a joint statement with the government of Alberta, Canada, to streamline the origin certification process for crude oil produced in the province. This significant move is part of Seoul's broader strategy to address oil supply challenges exacerbated by the ongoing crisis in the Middle East. The statement, signed by Korea Customs Service Commissioner Lee Myung-koo and Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith in Canada, is expected to effectively eliminate a 3% tariff on crude oil imports from the energy-rich province. Previously, Alberta's oil exporters faced difficulties in qualifying for preferential treatment under an existing free trade agreement due to complex origin verification requirements. By simplifying this process, The agreement aims to reduce oil prices for South Korea, diversify the nation's energy sources, and bolster its overall energy security, especially as Canadian crude is typically transported via the Pacific route. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.